What they basically said was that this money is going to go into the Treasury, and the money will be spent for improvements in public education in the 8 counties through which the pipeline will run, basically the 8 counties along the I-95 corridor in eastern North Carolina. These are all counties that are covered by the rather infamous Leandro decision, which talked about inadequate funding for schools in some of the poorest areas of the state. And so that would be a one-time amount of money, but they could use it for things like capital improvements and those sorts of things.
So essentially what was happening is that they were pushing back the legislative leaders in the North Carolina Senate, saying, no, Governor Cooper, we don't like this idea that we would not have any control over this $57.8 million. We want it to go here. And that led to a lot of fascinating debate among some of the senators.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, on February 8th, there was a very unusual joint meeting of the appropriations committees of the House and the Senate, and that basically comprises everybody. I mean, there's something like 100 plus members of the appropriations committee overall, and they met to discuss this particular measure. And what they were doing, what the Republican senators basically were doing, was an opportunity for them to query the governor's new legislative liaison, a gentleman named Lee Lilly, who just happened to have been hired 5 days earlier, and who also happened to have been a lobbyist for Dominion Energy, which is one of the companies that owns a pipeline.
And this has generated a whole new angle to the story and a whole new set of questions.
Exactly. Whole issues of conflicts. What did he know? What didn't he know? He was not very responsive to questions, and the questions were very aggressive, and Democrats were furious. They said they were ambushing the guy, and to which my thought was, well, if you don't want to have a guy face tough questions, then don't hire somebody who worked for the company that's running the pipeline as your legislative liaison.